Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I have with me in the studio a lawyer and public affairs analyst, Tunji Abdulahmeed, as well as lawyer and social development advocate, Jide Ologun. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning.
Right, let's head straight to the papers. And I begin with Nigerian Tribune. ASU insists on strike, says federal government dribbling us. ASU insists on strike, says federal government dribbling us. You find the details on the pages of the Nigerian Tribune. And to the first newspaper, petrol scarcity era returns. Petrol scarcity era returns. To the front page of the Daily Trust now, adulterated petrol unsettles motorists. NNPC moves to withdraw 16.5 billion naira worth of fuel. Marketers halt sales to seek competition. Higher methanol in PMS isolated case withdrawn. Regulatory authority speaking there. Right. And to the front page of the Nigerian News Direct, adulterated PMS scarcity worsens as NNPC replaces stock in 8 days, loses 14.5 billion naira on 50,000 metric tons of spec cargo as federal government threatens to sanction NNPC importer, isolates adulterated fuel. To the Punch newspaper, still talking about adulterated petrol. Federal government may return fuel to suppliers. 100 million liters affected, says marketers. Fuel shortage queues may last till weekend, says marketers. NNPC increases supply to bridge supply gap, recalls polluted fuel. And to the business day, dirty petrol arrived Nigeria January, slipped NNPC's tests. Dirty petrol arrived Nigeria January, slipped NNPC's tests. All right, you find the details on the pages of the business day. To the Guardian newspaper now, dirty fuel, litigations loom over damaged vehicles, scarcity to end weekend. NNPC asks trading firms for emergency petrol supplies as federal government battles to restore order. Queues spread across Nigeria. Black marketers sell at 250 naira per litre in Abuja. All right, you find all of those details on the pages of the Guardian newspaper. To the Vanguard now, car engines damaged as federal government marketers recall bad fuel. Federal government rejects bad supplies from petrol importers. Stations with bad product shut down. Public should be patient. Moman, Ipman, scarcity worsens. Distribution chain disrupted. 80 million liters withdrawn. We're addressing the situation, downstream regulator speaking. All right. To the Nation newspaper, pressure on Buhari to reject reworked electoral bill. Eyebrow on provision that ministers should resign to contest for office. INEC to get list of candidates August the 18th. You find the details on the pages of the Nation newspaper. Right, to this Nigerian newspaper now, 2023, only degree holders can run for presidency. As reps seek upgrade of education qualification. All right, 2023, only degree holders can run for presidency as reps seek upgrade of education qualification. You find the details on the pages of this Nigeria newspaper. To the blueprints now, 2023 presidency, Kwankwaso Utomi's third force, no threat, APC PDP reacting. Mega party to be inaugurated in Abuja soon. APC2 grounded to be threatened. BMO, like those before it, coalition will fizzle out. PDP speaking. Right. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Independent, upcoming mega party revs up process to square up to PDP APC. Sets up Transition Harmonization Council. All right, gentlemen, let's look at this developing story and situation across the country, talking about fuel scarcity. We've seen long queues, and that's as a result of the dirty fuel that was imported into the country. The government has spoken about it yesterday. There was a response yesterday. We had seen long queues on the roads in filling stations before we got that statement coming out of the government yesterday. And it says that the importer that brought this fear will be sanctioned accordingly. But there are questions on the minds of Nigerians. If you look at the front page of the Business Day, it says that dirty petrol arrived Nigeria January, slipped NNPC's test. And the question is, how? How could that have happened? How could there have been a slip, knowing that the impact on this, on the lives of Nigerians, a majority of Nigerians are using generators and cars, and we know the impact. How could there have been a slip? Let me begin with you, Jide.
The question is quite interesting, and I wonder just as well as you wonder, because recently NNPC became unbundled, and we have the upstream, the midstream, downstream regulatory bodies, and here we are now. But basically, we still have a global problem we have not resolved, which is that we do not refine our crude oil, and that we have not effectively ensured quality control even in what we import into the country. And right now it's reflecting in how the matter is being handled, because we don't even know who has imported, but we know that they are the high and mighty. But let's go back to history so that the stakeholders there can help this nation come out of the doldrum. On the 15th of January, it was a Sunday, 1956, the country discovered oil in commercial quantity, and we joined the League of Producers in 1958, I think about 15,000 barrels per day.
Right.
And after our independence, Shell BP proceeded to build the first refinery with about 38,000 barrels per day capacity. Today we have 4 refineries with combined capacity of about 445,000 barrels per day, and we are not refining, you see. And stepping back again into history, who discovered oil after 50 years of exploration? Shell Darcy, an individual, just like Dangote is building a refinery. So what is wrong with us? And recently there was a report that we spent 100 billion naira to turn around moribund refineries. You see, so I think corruption has deeply tied this nation down. And that's why many have been advising, rather than debating and romancing the issue of subsidy or no subsidy, why can't we build new refineries, or by extension allow the private sector players who are responsible, who will drive it like an investment, to create the enabling environment? You see, if not, look at it now, even the products we bring in, because probably they know who we are having dangerous products being imported into the country. But having said all this, I must commend the government for even taking action to stop the flow of this embarrassing supply. But it put hole in our control. That when you talk about American specification, it means any quality lower than this standard cannot come into our society. So where is the Standard Organization of Nigeria? And again, NNPC was established, I think, 1st April 1977. So what have we benefited? And as we speak now, that department of our national life is directly under the president himself. So he needs to rise up and persuade the world that we are a serious nation.
Let's get your reaction to this matter stemming from what he has said. He has, pointed out a lot of issues. How a country like ours, that, we say that we have this, and yet we are not refining. In fact, even according to reports, that our local refiners or illegal refiners, what they refine, the quality is better than what we import because of the standard. He mentioned the issue of quality standard is better than the quality that is imported into the country. Why are we not committed to ensuring that something works, especially with regards to this issue of refining petrol ourselves. It's an embarrassing issue, like he pointed out. A country like ours talking about fuel scarcity and again dirty petrol coming into the country.
I think I want to also align myself with the position of Barrister Ologun and or what I said, except that I will not join him in commending the government for anything, because it's an embarrassing situation already. So I can't be commending government for not doing its responsibility and trying to cover up with what has happened. So that is not commendable at all, as far as I'm concerned.
Their response is not commendable?
It is not at all.
It shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Let me also go to history, like even though I don't like history. When I say I don't like history, I'm not good in history. So Barrister Ologun said this first scarcity, the adulteration of the first scarcity is not today. In fact, if you notice that in January, recently, about a few weeks ago, there was scarcity in Abuja.
Abuja, yes.
But the government came up and said, no, nothing is happening, there's no problem. But if you look at the paper today, you are saying these things were noticed in January. And you want me to commend them for waiting till dinner, till we have more damages or damage for comment. So what I'm saying that, look, the lack of, when you even talk about quality control, I think we even separate it. As far as I'm concerned, there's no control, talk less of quality.
Right.
The control is lacking. If we have control, we won't have allocated fuel being imported into our country. So when you now talk about quality, that means you even talk about there's a system in place which checks these things. When there's no system in place which checks this, people will do what they want to do. And you see, they will continue to have this situation, because when people go unpunished for not doing the right thing, you will continue to have this kind of situation. Today, if we are in a country where things are done the way it should be done, so many people will have, so many heads will have a role. The GMD, NNPC, the Nigerian NMD, Nigerian Midstream, Downstream Products Regulatory Authority, or whatever, the one that replaces, what's it called now, that replaces the PPRA. Those who, because today, as far as I'm concerned, NNPC is the sole importer of fuel. So we should not be looking for who is the importer or not. We know that it's NNPC. So why are they not being sanctioned? Where is, just like I don't likely ask, where is a SON? What's it called?
Standard of Nigeria.
Where are they? Who are those responsible? What has happened to anybody? Where is our Minister of Petroleum?
But we were told just yesterday that sanctions will be
that is normal slang in Nigeria. Really? That is normal slang. Yes, sanction will be applied appropriately, and then not thereafter. What we see is promotion of those who perpetrated the crime. That's what we see in Nigeria. How many people have been sanctioned? How many people have been sacked from their job in this country? That you know, for doing the wrong thing or for putting country into embarrassing situation. How many people have been sacked in that regard? I'm not aware of that. There are not even many. Even if at all, we have up to. We have about 12 million Nigeria, we have said. I don't know about 10 people that have been sacked for that. So as far as I'm concerned, the consequences, a lack of punishing people,
accountability
for not doing the right thing, is the reason why this thing will continue to happen. So I think the government should be proactive. They should do the needful and ensure that, look, things that have been done are done properly and the way it should be done, not waiting for major crisis before reacting to issue. We generally, there's a clue, but nothing has happened. They are now withdrawing. So many damage has been caused. So who will bear the responsibility of the car that has been...
That's the question.
Who will bear those responsibility? Who will bear it?
And if you look at the front page of The Guardian, there are talks that litigation looms over damaged vehicles scarcity to end perhaps next weekend rather. And there are those who are, encouraging Nigerians to perhaps begin to sue the government as it is with regards to the damages incurred.
I'm laughing not because it is not proper. The advice is not proper. The advice is proper, it's good, it's normal. But I'm just laughing because at the end of the day, to be a waste of effort and then nothing will happen. Even because I'm a lawyer and I will not be out that I don't want to say. In fact, what I wanted to say before, I want to keep it. Let me just keep it.
By virtue of freedom of information, we compel you to speak out now.
I don't want to indict anybody, and I don't want to cause any issue. You see, the litigation, yes, you can go to court. Who are you suing? The government. Please tell me how many order of court has been obeyed by the minister of what's it called? By the government in this country. Tell me how many. How many people? How many? So many courts have been awarded against the police and the military damages and the other government agencies. How many have been paid? So you see, I'm not. You can go to court. You can go to court, but because thereafter, what happens? Nothing. So many judgments have been obtained by Sarah against the government just to release document alone. Has it been released? So I'm not discouraging people from going to court. You can go to court. Let's challenge. Let's try our whatever. But I'm not, because I don't have trust in the system, and that lack of trust will not allow me to even encourage anybody. Because as a lawyer, if you come to me, I'll collect my money to go to court on your behalf. But don't expect that I will do my job. You will get your results. But the result, the final result, which is the main
to be seen to be done.
Yes, it may not come, because it will be beyond my power at that time, because the government is bigger than me, and then I can't force the government to do anything there. That we have governments in Nigeria where they live bigger than the country, and they see themselves as above the law. They choose what to obey in terms of order of court and what not to obey. It is when you have an order of court that favors the government, that government will say, yes, law is this. But when you have a one that's not, they will find a way to say national interest or something that. So as far as I'm concerned, it is good to go that way, and that probably it will test the law. And then
we'll see.
But unfortunately, again, it's our money that will be used to pay the damages. And so why should we be even? But I expect that government will take action that will make the importer and those responsible to compensate the what's it called?
People who
have suffered.
Who have suffered
how do you prove your case in this country?
That's another issue.
How do you do that? Those are the issues.
How do you prove your case?
How do you determine that it was
during this period
that your car got spoiled?
Your car got spoiled.
So many issues will be there, and that's how so many cases will be lost in court.
It's a complex one.
I encourage people to go to court. Seriously speaking, now, I encourage people to go to court.
Don't worry, we may need to go to court on that issue.
Right.
Which is of concern to me, and I'm setting an agenda this morning. You see, Lagos State have made several laws that are commendable, but I am worried. I see some buses on the roads of Lagos, and I wonder what the roadworthiness laws are all about.
Okay.
If I am made to submit to those laws, some buses, no brake lights, no fog. I mean, what exactly is going on? And like Barrister said, the law is to regulate. No one should be seen to be above the law. It's becoming worrisome. You see some vehicles, they are just shaking and dancing along the road, and yet they pass through these law enforcement agents, and the gentleman in his tie is the one they will flag down. So we may be preparing to challenge all this. The rule of law must be allowed to apply to everybody. Sanitize the society.
Right. Now,
and that is the reason why, as Ologun, you people must be interested in be part of the structure, and so that we have trust in the system. You
know where you're headed.
No, we're talking here alone will not change anything.
All right. Let's quickly ask this question because we have a limited time. There are a cross section of Nigerians who are thinking perhaps is there a sabotage with regards to this issue, with regards to the fuel scarcity, because of this is coming on the heels of the subsidy, no subsidy, the debate and back and forth. And though government has said that, yes, the subsidy is still in place, but then this coming on the heels of that, there are those who are suspecting that there might be a sinister motive.
You may not rule out sabotage, but also it's a reflection of weakness. You know, Jamnagar has the largest refining capacity in the world of about 1.2 million barrels per day in India. You know, UAE discovered oil in 1958. They translated desert to paradise. So if we have all these loopholes, we have oil theft, non-functional refineries, you are already in a sabotage. You talk about the global sabotage before you even start addressing the micro sabotage. So in Nigeria, we have both the macro and the micro sabotage. Government policies are sabotaging the system. So there is a need for reawakening. You wake up to reality. Saudi Arabia oil facilities are managed by Aramco. You see the wealth generated in that region. We go there for pilgrimage. Our leaders travel abroad. Now, the USA has nothing less than 135 functional refineries or thereabout.
Right.
So what are we talking about? So we are already in a sabotage. In security sabotage, economic sabotage. You know, different kinds of, how do you explain $26.5 billion to turn around moribund refineries? What sabotage is worse than that? You see, so let's wake up and have government, functional government that can catch up with the world and, you know, meet the mandate of Section 14, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution 1997 that says that the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government.
Yes. All right. And that would be a fine place to leave this conversation now, because I know you are trying to react to that perhaps, but let's leave the conversation here. Thank you so much, lawyer and public affairs analyst Tunji Abdulahmeed and lawyer and social development advocate Jide Ologun. Thank you for your time on the newspaper review this morning.
God bless Nigeria.
Amen.